Welcome to Porchlight for the Prodigal. My name is Charlie.
Lucas.
And Peyton.
We're here today. We're just going to chat a little bit today about how it means to be in the middle of your mission, because sometimes those things get a little hard. And we are in the middle of some of our own battles within our own missions, and we kind of just wanted to share that with you guys today. So one of our areas that I work with a lot of people on is with adoption. And adoption is one of the most beautiful things I think we can do. Adoption, foster care, taking anyone's kids with you that are not your own. The world needs people that are willing to pour into kids who have been left to the wayside in some capacity. Sometimes it's just for a minute. Sometimes they just need somebody to step in, let mom and dad heal, let them get past that point, that moment, work beside them, and then sometimes we know that those kids just need to be taken and have a safe place to grow up. And whatever that looks like, it comes with a different set of challenges than if you have your own kids biologically. And so when people say, I want to adopt a kid, I'm just going to love them and it's going to be great and it's going to be so great. And I would say to that, it is. 100% it's going to be great. But it is going to come with nights where you are ready to pull your hair out and lots of tears and frustration, because those kids, no matter how little they are, they come with some stuff. Even the smallest infant comes wired biologically to want their biological parent. And so they instinctually know that that's not you in some way. And that's a challenge. Sometimes it doesn't come out till they hit puberty. Sometimes it comes out older. And it just can be, it's just a different kind of a battle. But it doesn't mean it's one not worth taking. And so for kids that are going through that kind of thing, I always want to celebrate people that are willing to take on children. And I also want to be very real that those challenges are going to be hard, and that community that supported you and encouraged you and cheered you on in those first days and was so excited with you in the beginning, I would encourage that community to stick with those people. Stay with them, because the hard times are coming and they're going to need people to step in. We've been very, very blessed in our personal life, in our personal walk. We have 3 little bonus babies, we call them, that have been with us for a little while now. And we have people that will just swoop in. We have one sweet lady that comes in on Wednesday nights. She picks them up from school. We call her the ninja. She swings in, she picks them up, and she brings them back at bedtime. They get to go to a youth group, they get to have dinner, and she brings them back, and it's like one night a week where we get to be like, okay, we got to have that extra business meeting, we got to have a minute to catch our breath, we got to get an extra load of laundry started, whatever it might be. And so really, I want today to be about encouraging, being the encourager for the people that are making those decisions to take on the big things. So we talked about how Peyton got married this summer, and the wedding was absolutely beautiful, and Caitlin and Peyton are off on this new start to their life, and they bought a house, and they've got all of these really beautiful things going, and all of the family comes, and there's flowers and the pictures, and it's so beautiful. And that's a really great beginning, and Peyton and Caitlin are a really amazing couple, and I do believe God brought them together. But their story's not always going to be that moment. It's not always going to be the celebrated very beginnings. There's going to be hard times. There's going to be big decisions that need to be made. Not only is Peyton our fundraising guy and he's writing grants, but he's also going to school to be a lawyer. So he's taking night classes and reading like all the time, and trying to figure out how to come beside them, support Caitlin, support Peyton in what he's doing, means it's just a different way to live life together. We've had employees who have lost kids, lost babies, and that's the worst. It's so hard to be with people when they're so sad and they're grieving, but that's the beauty of community and what God's people do. They come together, you grieve together, you play together, you laugh together, celebrate together, but really just walking life together. We talk a lot about that with our plumbers, with all of our employees, our 9B teachers and preschool ladies, our teachers at the school. And what does it look like to be the person encouraging the person walking that path? So one of the things that hit me really kind of square in the face today. Missy Pinkerton is one of my favorite humans ever. This woman is pure joy. She wouldn't think so. If she hears me say that, she's not going to believe me. But she came in a few years ago. She was battling cancer, and she wanted to come in and just hang out with the kids. She wanted to have a purpose, and she wanted to feel joy. She wanted to bring joy, and she just didn't want to rot at home as she was battling cancer. And she came like a couple days a week. Then she came 4 days a week, and then pretty quick I was like, do you maybe want to work here? Do you want a job? And so she started teaching kindergarten. And then she was in a really horrible car wreck. She wasn't even through the final stages of the chemo and all the stuff, and then this car wreck happened. And she still shows up. She's got her big neck brace on, and she still shows up, and she's smiling, and she's just teaching the kids, hug me gentle, but she's so incredible. And in all of her trials, and in everything she's been through, this woman is literally just pure joy. She comes with a mission, and she comes with an attitude for Christ, and it's just an absolute blessing to be able to be with her. And I'm so thankful I get to work with her every day. She sent me this thing this morning that talked about how people celebrate the beginnings, but how we don't always walk with each other through those hard times. So whether you're a parent and you're struggling with parenting problems, or those blended families, or those adoption struggles, or new jobs that were super exciting, but then the challenges that came with learning that new job. I know when I took the job at the children's home, people actually lost friends over that. People were like, you can't take your kids into a home where all these troubled kids come. And I was like, yeah, watch me. Because now my kids have been through that. They've lived it. They know what it's like to see broken, hurt people and love them anyway. Teach them Christ anyway. They get to see that and live that. But there were some moments where I was like, man, what have I got myself into? When we started this school, Foundations School, man, there were some challenges in the first 6 weeks. I didn't have any idea what I was doing, and also I'm teaching, and we have these kids that are so far behind. Every lesson plan I had made didn't even matter, and we had to go backwards and revamp and tweak it, and it was everything I knew it was going to be. It was everything I said it would be. But when you're in the middle of doing that, and the workload is heavy, and you're 2 in the morning trying to make sure that you're ready for 6 in the morning, that can be kind of hard. And so how do we walk through that with people? What are you guys' experiences and ideas with that?
I'll let you go first if you want.
Well, I'm really cut and dry. I'm kind of a black and white person, so you just have to be, you have to have perspective. And what I mean by that is I can get all weepy about Turner Plumbing's payroll is coming up and hopefully these checks come in, or oh man, I was stuck in the office all day doing stuff. But having a little perspective, like a person like Missy Pinkerton that just beat cancer, got in a car accident, and it didn't even slow her down for a second. She still comes to work smiling. Having that perspective helps me, because when my guys are going through a hard time now, I've been through hard times, and you just open the Bible and you just calmly say, yeah, times are tough, but you got Jesus to help you through it. So yeah, and I've needed help so many times in my life, and my mom was always there for me with just a calm, steady. And so I think you just have to realize that living on this earth is going to be tough, and just stay calm and be there for who needs it.
But also so beautiful. I had a girl sit in my office this week, and she was kind of having a moment, and she said, I don't even know why I'm crying. You guys are doing all of this stuff. You've got the preschool, you've got the school, you've got the plumbing. Now we're starting this little Idaho Mercantile 9 Beans coffee company to help the school, and there's all these things going on. And she was stressed out for me. She's like, your life is freaking me out. I don't even know what to do with it. And I said, I'm not stressed out, because I know that God has opened this door, and I'm going to walk through it completely blind. I have no idea what's going to happen on the other side. But also I know if I walk through it, no matter what happens on the other side, God's got me. And the counselor, Aaron Morgan, comes out to our school every Tuesday and meets with some of his kids, and he's just a presence in our school that he offers career counseling to some, and sometimes he's just there to help the one that's struggling for the day. And he said, maybe this part of the battle of your calling is because you need to realize how many people are there beside you as you've been called. And I needed to hear that. I needed to realize, like, there are pieces of this school that we didn't have any idea that were going to be so hard, but I am definitely not walking it by myself. Lucas is there, Turner Plumbing is there, the plumbers are there, 9B Family Foundations is our kind of backbone support for part of this, and our family is there and participating. And really, why am I belly aching about anything when we knew it was going to be a challenge, we knew it was going to be hard, but when we said yes to the calling, God has been giving us the things we needed along the way. Sometimes it's not the thing that's at the focus. Like right now, the school it's a nonprofit, and it's going to financially be a battle always. It's going to take 38,000 hot dogs to make payroll if we were selling enough hot dogs to make payroll.
And we knew that.
And we knew that. But if that's the only thing I'm focused on, then I completely lose sight of the fact that the program is amazing and it's solid and the kids are growing, families are thriving, our teachers are so incredible. We are so blessed to be surrounded with the people that we're surrounded by. And if I lose sight of that because the money part is a struggle and that's the biggest part of the battle, I'm going to miss the whole forest for the trees and I won't get to see all the beauty of it. And I really did need that reminder this week.
Yeah, absolutely.
What about you? What's been the hardest and the best part of all of it?
So, I mean, similar to what he said, a little bit of perspective for all of it, but I kind of went in a different direction with it. Like, you see people that are, like, dealing with, like, crazy crap, like Missy and a neck brace and beating cancer. And it's really easy in moments where your day feels heavier, it feels like you have a lot going on, to kind of start bagging down a little bit and like, this is tough, what am I doing? Like, is this hard for everybody? And then you can look around and see stuff like that and kind of check yourself a little bit, and it's like, okay, I'm being ridiculous. Like, I'm just gonna keep going, because if that person can keep going, then I can keep going for sure.
Yeah.
And that leads into what you were saying. People walking with you, you develop kind of this wave of synergy, and then the guy next to you's energy is helping feed you and carry you through towards more than you really thought that you could do to begin with.
And I think to add to that, we live in a small community, so we have to remember it might look like the person next to you or the person on Facebook has got it figured out and they got a bunch of money and they own a business, so they must have a bunch of bank accounts, and a little bit of that jealousy and annoyance comes out. But there's a lot of people that you pass that may look wealthy that aren't wealthy because they have two parents in assisted living facilities, or so you just never know the whole story. So you just need to really be kind and reach out to everybody. That kind of leave the initial judge aside and walk with our community, because the people that you wouldn't think need someone to walk with need it more than you would know.
Yeah, we it's easy to pour a lot of attention into, and it should be, but it's easy to identify the homeless population and know that they need help. It's harder to identify the successful blue-collar population and understand how to help them or what they might need. My favorite part about Missy is not only was she going through all of those things, and I can't even imagine, but her attitude was so incredible while she was going through all of those things. Yeah. So I absolutely love that lady. She's incredible.
Yeah. And before we go on, there's pink elephant in the room. There's so much divisiveness in our. Yeah. Let's say if you voted for Trump, but someone hates Trump, and like there's so much love lost between people like that, where it doesn't need to be like that. I mean, when someone voted for someone, that's fine. You can overlook that. You can love them for who they are. You have 10 more things that you have in common that you can talk about. You can agree to disagree. So I think Bonner's and I feel it, is at the beginning of a healing stage. I think COVID bringing everybody isolated, kind of hurt everybody's, sense of being or sense of community. But we really need to strive to, when you see someone, instead of saying, I'll pray for you, stop and pray with them right at the moment. Reach out your hand. If you know someone's going through something, actually take time to call them and say, is there anything I can do? Instead of just thinking about it. I mean...
And I think I've had to learn some of these lessons because people were that for me. So when Shanley was little, Shanley was sick all the time. And I had one friend, she was never intrusive, but she would come over and she would hang, she'd go to Target and she'd get me a People magazine, a box of chocolates, and some goldfish for the kids, and she'd just leave it on the door, knock and leave. Or some chicken noodle soup or something, because we were home a lot trying to take care of Shanley, make sure she was good. And so, at first I was like, I wonder what she wants from me. I wonder what her motive is here. I don't understand why she's being nice to me. But then, like, that's genuinely how she was serving. I just never had experienced that before.
Yeah.
And I think being able to be that for other people, being what Missy was to those little kids, it wasn't about her surviving the cancer. It was about her pouring into some kids who absolutely love her. They adore her with everything. And so how can we be that person? It's like Kim, who knows that we've taken on these 3 little kids. I didn't start my 45th year thinking that I was going to be potty training again and needing bunk beds, and the office was converted into a kids room, and none of that matters. Like, that's just all stuff you do, but I didn't anticipate it.
Yeah.
And so sometimes she'll bring over an elk burger lasagna. So good. It's incredible.
Amazing.
Kim's a good cook. But she'll leave it on the table, and I'll come home and it'll say $3.50 for 45 minutes or whatever, and dinner is there. I didn't ask. She doesn't stick around for a thank you. She's just gone like a ninja. Yeah. And the people that are like that, sometimes Caitlin will bring me little treats to my office, and she'll leave a note on my desk with a little heart and her name, and or sometimes nothing, but it'll just be something sweet left on my desk. And I have so much appreciation for people that have poured into me like that, because I don't think that's something I naturally do or give. And so I've learned from the people in my life that do that. So that's a good way for people to walk through it. One of our plumbers is a baseball coach in North Idaho, and he was telling us the other day that one of his players came to practice and was talking about, I'm sorry if I'm a little slow today, coach, I'm hurting really bad, and found out he has like stage 4 leukemia.
Yeah.
And nobody knew. No, like, he didn't know. He's been coming to practice. He practices. He shows up. He never complains. Nobody knew. And so, again, that perspective, like, this kid just showed up. What am I complaining about in my life if this kid has got that kind of passion and drive and ambition to do something better?
Yeah, absolutely.
In Hebrews, it talks about, there's the chapter about faith. They call it the faith chapter 11. It talks about how with their faith, all of these different people did something for God that we get to know about. We can read their stories in the Old Testament. By faith, Isaac blessed Jacob. By faith, Jacob, when he was dying, blessed Joseph. By faith, Joseph. By faith, Moses. By faith, all these different stories. But then you get to chapter 12. And chapter 12 says, and it's kind of painting this picture, like, imagine you're in a coliseum, like a football arena, and all of these people are in the stands that are the people that we've read about in the Old Testament, the people we've read about in the Bible, people that have passed away before us, and they're all there, and they're all cheering you on, and you're getting ready to run this race. What does your race look like? And it says, therefore, since we're surrounded by such a great cloud of witnesses, let us throw off everything that hinders sin and so easily entangles. Let us run with perseverance the race marked out before us, fixing our eyes on Jesus, the pioneer and perfecter of faith. For the joy set before him, he endured the cross, scorning its shame. He sat down at the right hand of the throne of God, and consider him who endured such opposition from sinners, so that you will not grow weary and lose heart. In that perspective, sometimes that we need, whether it's Missy who's going through cancer And she's my active, living, tangible proof of that. Or remembering that for the joy set before him, Jesus endured the cross for me. And to remember that and make that my perspective, so that no matter what's coming, there will be trials, there will be hard times. In anything good you choose to do, there's gonna be a battle. There's going to be, no matter how you play it out, no matter how good it is, no matter how awesome the adoption agency is, no matter how beautiful your marriage was brought together, no matter how great you think your biological kid is going to behave, and then they actually have an attitude sometimes. All the things that you think you would never encounter, you will. And when you do, remember that Jesus did it, and he did it with joy set before him. He endured all of that stuff for the joy set before him. And I think if we can remember that and keep that perspective when we are called to do something, not being afraid of it. That's one of my it's one of my favorite parts about my own faith. I don't know what's coming, but I'm not afraid. I don't know what's coming. I don't know if we'll succeed. I don't know if we'll be a big fat failure. I have no idea. But I'm not afraid of that. I'm not afraid of failing even. Are you afraid of failing?
No.
And it happens sometimes.
Oh yeah. I fail forward all the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's never easy. It's never a cakewalk, but it's a doable thing. So remembering that, don't grow weary, and it says do not lose heart. And another thing it says to throw off, where did it say it? To throw off everything that could tangle you. Right here. Let us throw off everything that hinders and the sin that so easily entangles us. Sometimes it's the fear that gets you caught up. It's the fear to make a decision, the fear to take the first step, the fear that you might fail. Because, we've talked with this about the kids in this entrepreneurship class we're doing. You're gonna fail. It's okay. Some of our kids are working on what's the career path after high school. There's actually not a right answer, because maybe you're going to choose to go to University of Idaho and take on psychology, and in 3 years you're going to be like, man, I wish I'd have been an electrician, or I wish I'd have taken Lucas up on the plumbing apprenticeship, or I wish I'd have gone to the car dealership, or it's okay. And then you readjust at that point. There's nothing that is a permanent thing except death. So between here and there, you've got lots of options and time to choose what you're going to do with the doors you walk through. But don't be afraid of them. Do you guys have any more? You have some scripture?
Yeah, I've got several that I found that seemed applicable.
Yeah.
I'm just getting found again. Where'd you go? Is that the one I thought it was? Anyway, I mean, this one works. So we do not lose heart, though our outer self is wasting away, our inner self is being renewed day by day. For this light momentary affliction is preparing for us an eternal weight of glory beyond all comparison.
Mm-hmm.
So everything that is here, even when it's tough, it's for a reason. And you're talking about failing forward. Failure is the catalyst for success.
Mm-hmm.
No one just steps right out of the gate and they're killing it, and their 6-figure salary in their first year, and all of their ventures are succeeding. None of their endeavors have gone less than they expected.
Yeah.
That's not realistic.
And then you always see those companies that, from the outside, have all those vans and nice buildings. Well, then there's different stresses that business owner has versus the guy that just has a small shop. And it's just, everybody has their own situation. It's life.
Mm-hmm. The beginning of this little article that Missy sent me kind of says that. It says, calling, we've been taught, should feel like clarity, like peace, like steady confidence and open doors, and deep satisfaction of knowing you're exactly where you're meant to be. In other words, if it hurts, it costs too much. If you find yourself grieving parts of life you thought you'd have, well, maybe you heard God calling wrong. This, I believe, is a dangerous assumption, because it trains us to question God's call the moment it begins to cost us. And if you think about the disciples that were with Jesus, it cost them everything. And in the moment they were working for Jesus, in the moment they were preaching and spreading that gospel, and they're getting stoned, and crucified and all of the things that happened to them, that costs too much for lots of people, and they did it anyway. Yeah. And so I'm complaining about, what was it again? Like, that makes me seem ridiculous. So
I think only one of them died of natural causes.
Yeah.
Every single other one was put to death in their pursuits. Like, it wasn't a great way to go out, but they believed enough in what they were doing to just leave that on Earth and move forward to the next stage.
Yeah, I like that. In other words, if it hurts, it costs too much. What does it cost us so far? And there is stuff. I mean, we're human, right? So what does it cost to do some of these things?
It's made me look pretty old.
I don't know that that's the work.
Yeah, the gray hair comes in quicker, for sure. And, I mean, we have sleepless nights, and we have... I think my biggest stress and fear and anxiety in anything we've done isn't even about us, Lucas and I, failing. Yeah. It's about letting down our employees and our family and our people and the community. And so, not in a prideful way. Like, if it failed and it was just me, whatever. I've failed lots of times. I do stupid stuff all the time. I spilled a giant coffee at the car dealership this morning. That's silly, but like, I don't mind being embarrassed. But to let people down, that's the worst thing for me. And so when people are counting on you for their livelihood, that means I have a responsibility to do it right. Even if I'm failing, I still have to figure out how to do it right so it works. And that to me is the biggest stress.
Yeah, and I think I'm getting better with that type of stress, because I used to think I need to make payroll. What if I don't make payroll? Yeah, that's all true. I need to do my best to make sure there's plenty of funds there. But let's say Turner Plumbing goes under. What if God has something even bigger planned for all those plumbers, and all of a sudden they're not at Turner Plumbing, but bigger things come in? It's a change of direction that's very uncomfortable for me, but it might be a better direction. Yeah. So it's kind of interesting to think about, but stressing about it really doesn't do anything other than make me look old, and I think that's already happened, so we're okay.
Well, and someone reminded me a couple weeks ago that who do you think you are? You're not responsible for all these people. God owns the cattle of 1,000 hills.
Exactly.
He's got them, and you just need to be faithful with what He's given you to do. Yeah. And then if it works or if it doesn't work, then He still has everyone. Yeah. Even in the failures, He still has us. Yeah. And then again, that's kind of, I think, where it's easy to let go of the fear, because then it's not mine. Yeah. I don't get to hold on to that. I love this. It says, some callings carry grief not as an interruption, but as a part of the invitation. Grief is a kind of a negative word. It brings a context to it that's so sad, but in grieving, there is plenty in life that we have to give up to do the good thing, but I don't think I've had to give up anything. I don't get to sleep in. I don't get to go have coffee with friends. We don't have people over very much anymore. Like, there's little things that have changed in our lifestyle to be able to do all of this, but nothing that... And sometimes I do feel sad about, like, well, I wish I had more time to spend with someone. But also, it's just not the season of life right now, and that's okay too. So, I'm going to kind of wrap it up. Whatever your walk is, whatever you're called to do, walk boldly. Just go for it. Tackle it. Honor it. In those things, when you make that initial decision, again, it's so exciting. When I took the job at the children's home, we sold everything we had. We put the kids in a pickup with the tiniest little U-Haul trailer, and 1,500 miles south we go. And everyone thought we had lost our minds. And I didn't feel like I'd lost my mind. I was excited for this new adventure. And I made it about 2 weeks into the job, and one of the girls chucked a 5-gallon fish tank at me, and I thought, I might be in over my head. And you know what? I love that girl to death to this day. And we still, like, I remember those stories, and I can see how God worked in every single step of that along the way, through the successes, through the failures, the really, really hard times that really challenged our family, and the times that were beautiful and we got to celebrate and we have these memories. So whatever the thing is you're called to do, Do it boldly and do it without fear, but do it with the knowledge that there are going to be bumps and bruises along the way, and that doesn't mean that God has changed his mind. That doesn't mean it's a stopping place or a give up place. And if you're the person that's watching someone tackle this calling, rather than say, have you gone crazy? You're doing too much. Don't do that thing. Come beside them. What is it you can do to help? Sometimes it's just a hug. When I first moved to town, I would literally drive 12 miles down the road to Mary Kimball, because Mary Kimball gave the best hugs in this whole county, and sometimes that's all I needed. And just be that. If that's what you have to offer, or if it's an elk lasagna, be that. And walk beside these people that are going through their toughest challenges in life, but also something that maybe they've been called to do. There's all kinds of ways to help. If you ever need help, if you're looking for ideas or ways or outlets, or you need to have somebody walk beside you, reach out to us. FoundationsK12school.org is where you can find all of our emails. TurnerPlumbingNI.com. You can reach Lucas. We have all of these crazy little avenues that don't seem to blend together or match, but they match beautifully for us. And we encourage you to reach out and share your story with us. We want to hear them. We want to talk about them. We look forward to hearing and seeing from you. And we love to give tours of our schools and our shops, and we genuinely want to be able to walk beside all of the people. So whoever you are.
And if you ever want to be on the podcast to say what's on your heart, or talk about...
Please do.
Yeah.
Yeah, Peyton would be happy to have a day not in front of a camera. So.
I think the camera would be happy to have a day not in front of me.
Yeah, I don't think so. Anyway, between here and there, thank you for spending some time with us, and we're going to leave the light on for you. Thank you.